Would you like to have your queer letter critiqued? It can be done for free, but it will be public out here on all my socials. My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. Information on how to submit will be at the end, but everybody please remember that there's a real life person on the other side of this query, so we are all going to be nice and nobody tell them to just self-publish. That's not how any of this works. Let's jump in. All right, so we've got 80,000 word literary fiction, These Envious Teeth. These Envious Teeth will appeal to readers who appreciate the exploration of a protagonist with an eating disorder and the queer themes of Melissa Broder's Milkfed, and those who enjoy the unlikable, self-destructive narrator of Eliza Clark's Boy Parts. These are like almost themes, but these are really plot elements. Rather than saying like, so the queer themes, I guess, is part of this self-destructive narrator, unlikable. Saying that an eating disorder, that feels much more like a plot element rather than like a voice or like a theme. That think about when you are recommending books to your friends, do you use plot elements, or are you talking about like the voice and the language and the setting and the magic systems and all of those things that you're like, no, this is the reason that you're going to love this book? It's probably not a plot element. It might be. These are sort of like gray area. This is as plotty as I would like to see comp titles get. So these are sort of on the border. All right, the first thing university student Ophelia does after being bitten by a vampire. Are those other books supernatural? Are those speculative? I'm not entirely sure if they are or not. So I don't think those other books have a big supernatural element to them. So I would say like literary speculative. Put that up in here. So first thing she does is check her BMI. From there, she continues to spiral as she continues onto her disordered eating habits despite her transformation. Oh, you've got a hook. When agents and editors say they are looking for something high concept, this is what they mean. This is what high concept means. So she has disordered eating, and the disordered eating stays with her even though she becomes a vampire and she no longer eats food and instead is eating the blood of other humans. This is a hook. This is a high concept. I think that you might benefit from a logline rather than like trying to pitch those plot elements from those other books. I think you could benefit from a logline and from like a single pithy sentence up at the top there. She's repulsed by the idea of drinking human blood, but starving herself quickly becomes unsustainable as her vampiric urges grow stronger. Just when she's about to give in to her hunger, a classmate comments on how malnourished she's looked since the attack. This sends her barreling down a path of self-destruction as she realizes being a starving vampire might finally give her the body she's always dreamed of having. So are vampires open knowledge in this world, or is this is also, people often ask like, how much world building does there need to be? I feel like this needs that one piece. Are vampires walking around out in the world and everybody knows about them, or is she keeping her vampirism a secret as well? She's barreling down a path of self-destruction. She ignores the only person she's close to, her friend Ellis, in her pursuit, but ripping throats out isn't the only way to hurt the people she loves. Continuing her disordered eating habits and pushing her body to the brink of death, the longer she deprives, can she die as a vampire? Is she realize, like, is that part of this, that she realizes she can't die because she's undead, and so the dangers of the ED are gone? She deprives her body, the more destructive the consequences of the vampiric binge will become, but her disorders and addiction she feels unable to break free from. Okay, so you have got a hook and a half here. You have got very, very high concept. You can go like two different paths here. You are saying that you're selling this as literary fiction. That means this language, if your prose and if your language is just really, really lush and lyrical and beautiful, this is the type of book that winds up on like awards shortlists. If you are like really like diving in and exploring what does it mean to be human and have these human urges. These are very quiet stakes. This is about a girl trying to battle her own mental health and finally having the key to give into that battle for forever. Like, this is dark. This is intimate. This could also go very broad, very commercial, depending on the voice and depending on the way that you are using language within the book. So let's talk about those 5 questions. Who is our main character? I have forgotten her name because the hook here mattered so much that it pushed it straight out of my head. Ophelia. God damn, I should have remembered Ophelia. Okay. You have got a concept. Ophelia, what is it that she wants? She wants to be skinny. Like, more than anything, she wants to be skinny. What is it she willing to do to get it? Starve her vampire body forever, like just give into the monster within in a really dark and depressing and disturbing kind of a way. What is standing in her way? Vampire urges are stronger than human urges, and what happens if she fails? She will be a vampire. She will be eating the people that she cares about. This, you've got all five of those questions. I think that you could benefit from a log line. I think that you want to clean up those comp titles and really pay attention to why you are similar to them, and it's not plot elements. And really, really be sure that your opening 10 pages are really indicative of the type of language and the type of prose that you are using throughout this novel, because this is a really, really strong hook. This is a really high concept novel. You have to have the execution to go with this, or else a lot of people are going to look and be like, oh, cool concept, but they didn't quite pull it off. So make sure that that language is as like fully realized as this concept is. If you would like to submit, the information is in my link tree in my bio underneath the query, critique, submissions buttons. If you do not want to do this publicly, but would prefer to do 3 rounds of editing with me in my editing business, information on how to do that is on my editing services website. And then if you don't want to wait for either of those long lines, I do have a class available underneath the series button on TikTok and on my Patreon underneath the collections. You don't have to be a paying member of Patreon to be able to access those collections. It's 3.5 hours of content, teaches you how to write a query letter, how to write a synopsis, how to navigate query etiquette, has some before and afters of clients who have edited with me and gone on to sign with literary agents or with publishing houses, so you can see how these letters change over the course of the editing process. And it's about the price of an add-on workshop at a writing conference, but you don't have to actually travel to the conference to get access to this information.